Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order for the March 3rd Board of Education. Public notice will be read at the start of our 7:30 session. Please rise for the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Hill, roll call, please.
Mr. Balca?
Here.
Mrs. Bacco?
Here.
Mrs. Bloom?
Here.
Mr. Callahan?
Here.
Mr. Esposito?
Here.
Mrs. Kenny? Here. Ms. Rubio? Mr. Walsh?
Here.
Mr. Syak?
Okay, at this time, I'd like to make a motion for going to executive session.
So moved.
By Mrs. Bloom, second by Mr. Callahan. Ms. Hill, read the resolution, please.
Whereas Section 8 of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975 permits the exclusion of the public from a meeting in certain circumstances. And whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Education of the Borough of Sayreville, County of Middlesex, State of New Jersey, as follows. The public shall be excluded from discussion of and action upon the hereinafter specified subject matters. The general nature of the subject matters to be discussed is as follows. Personnel, including but not limited to agenda items, attorney-client privilege on a pending lawsuit. It is anticipated at this time that the above stated subject matter shall be made public at such time as the need for non-disclosure no longer exists. This resolution shall take effect immediately. Mr. Balca?
Yes.
Mrs. Bacco?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mrs. Kenny?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, meeting closed. We'll resume at 7:30.
Welcome to the March 3rd, 2020 Board of Education meeting. Take notice this public meeting of the Sayreville Board of Education was transmitted to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger in accordance with Chapter 231, Public Law 1975. Further, in accordance with NJSA 10.4-6 through 21st, a copy of this notice was posted outside the board secretary's office, and a copy was also filled with the clerk of the Borough of Sayreville. Please rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Hill, roll call, please.
You're doing a great job, Madam President.
Mr. Balca? Here. Mrs. Bacco? Here. Mrs. Bloom? Here. Mr. Callahan? Here. Mr. Esposito? Here. Mrs. Kenny? Here. Miss Rubio? Here. Mr. Walsh?
Here.
And Mr. Syak. Ms. Hill, can you summarize executive board session?
Sure. The board discussed personal, including but not limited to agenda items, and attorney-client privilege on a pending lawsuit.
I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the February 18th and February 25th regular and executive sessions. So moved.
Second.
Second by Mr. Walsh.
You need a roll call, right? Roll call? You need a roll call.
Mr. Balca?
No.
Mrs. Bacco?
No.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito,
Yes.
Mrs. Kenny,
Yes.
Miss Rubio, Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
Mr. Zayak.
Madam President, I think we have a student council representative.
Sierra, can you please give us your summary?
Sierra, can you please give us our summary?
Hi, my name is Sienna Laguerre, and I'll be representing the SUES tonight. There are a lot of events happening at the SUES. We had the Magical Math Assembly on January 17th, 2020, and the art show and chorus and band concert on January 2020 and January 22nd, 2020. All the band and chorus people worked for weeks, and the songs were amazing. We also had the walkathon on January 24th, the Bubble Proceeds Night on February 17th, and the Spring Pictures on February 22nd. The Character Ed Luncheon and Family Movie Night were on February 28th. The Character Ed Luncheon was for students that were chosen by teachers for demonstrating responsibility. The movie for movie night was Coco. Later this year, I'm very excited that we will have the social for only 5th graders on June 12th, as well as a field day on May 22nd. There's a lot going on at Samsel, and I just can't wait for it all.
Great report, Sierra. You rock.
Mr. Vice President, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I'd like to thank everybody for coming this evening. And this is probably our favorite board meeting of the year, bar none. It's really interesting to meet your children, our students, and hear what they have to say, good and bad, about our district. You never know what you're going to hear at these meetings. It could be interesting. So I want to thank them, and I want to thank you guys, because without your hard work, they're not here before us. So, Mrs. Calganese, would you like to elaborate?
Good evening, Dr. Labby, Dr. Shediak, Mr. Glockmalloy, Miss Hill, and members of our Board of Education. My name is Sophia Japarizzi, and I'm here tonight representing Mrs. Calganese, principal of Samsel Upper Elementary School. I would like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be a part of this evening's Board of Education meeting. Over the past few months, we had the opportunity to learn about the roles and responsibilities of being a Board of Education member or administrator. I have learned a lot of information and met wonderful people throughout the meetings. For instance, Dr. Labby, who does all his best for the students to succeed. Tonight, we are happy to join members of our community in making decisions about our school system. We would like to thank our families, friends, and our teachers who came out to support us tonight. Thank you. Thank you. Mrs. Wodashek, Mr. Daly, Miss Mervin, Miss Coughlin, Miss Parse, Mrs. Kerminsky, Mrs. Latz, Miss Zizik, Mrs. Perez, Miss McCreesh, Mrs. Seavey, Miss Fleschner.
Thank you for those comments. Mrs. Vice President, do you have anything to read?
Congratulations to the SWMHS cheer team for winning and being crowned grand champions in Wildwood at the Northeast National Cheer Competition, and the SMS cheer team for being crowned grand champions at the Howell Cheer Championship. The Wilson School held their first ever international night. More than 100 students and their parents learned about food, traditions, artifacts, music, and dance from 14 different cultural exhibits. Everyone had a ton of fun. At Truman, the students and staff participated in the Kids Heart Challenge, celebrated President's Day with the Patriotic Parade, and took part in Random Acts of Kindness Week with the door decorating contest. Thank you to Mrs. Elise Barone for recently putting on such an awesome recycling show for a project before preschool students.
Wow, Madam Vice President. Our cheerleaders at the middle school and high school are really having a great competition season.
Let's move on to our board discussion. Mrs. Kenny, do you have a Student Achievement Committee report?
Yes. The Student Achievement Committee met this evening. We discussed a change to the 21-22 calendar. Our class of 2020 is on the right path to graduation, and our high school academies have increasing enrollment. We have learned that our accounting and marketing strands were approved.
Mrs. Bloom, do you have any reports from the Middlesex County School Boards Association?
Yes. Good evening, everyone. On Saturday, February 22nd, I attended the County Association Leadership Training in Trenton. I will share that information with you at our next regular meeting. I once again want to remind our board members and administrators that the annual Unsung Heroes Dinner will be held on Tuesday, March 24th at Old Bridge High School at 5:30 p.m. Please consider attending this wonderful event where we honor our students who have overcome obstacles or have achieved extraordinary goals. Don't forget to have Erin sign you up, and Erin, can you be sure to sign me up as well? Thanks. Thank you.
Dr. Labby, do we have any presentations today?
Yes, we do. But before we get to them, I think some board members and administrators have some prepared comments on the referendum and the potential for adding air conditioning to our schools. In fact, here are my comments. My thoughts on the referendum to add air conditioning to our schools is that we should actually add it. One reason we should actually add air conditioning to Sayreville schools is that in the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, it is very hot in the classrooms. Last August, I went to the high school orientation with my sister, who is now a freshman, and let me tell you, it is very warm. Students and teachers find it very uncomfortable to sit in a hot classroom. Instead of focusing on their work, students will focus on hot and sweaty air. Fans do not really work. Plus, if it gets too hot, the district might have to cancel classes or maybe even delays. That means more work to make up. If we miss too much days in the school year, we might have to end more at the end of the year. If we add air conditioning, we will focus more, and more focusing, grades will go up. That means the district's reviews will also go up. Some will even say Sayreville schools are doing their children good for their part. Thank you for listening about my speech for adding air conditioning to our schools. What do you think, Madam President?
As a student, of course I want air conditioning. On my first day of 4th grade, my shirt stuck to me. However, as the board president representative, I'm a bit skeptical. On one hand, it would be very expensive. Not only would we be paying for the AC itself, but also renovations to get it installed in the electric bill. This all comes out to be about $90 million. Even though I am a little unsure of this, I'm leaning towards the side of yes, though this could lead to being too cold. I do know that you parents out there will not be thrilled with the idea of extra taxes, but let's face it, schools are ovens. Now there's another alternative that doesn't work at all called fans, because they don't reach everyone, especially students in the back of the classroom. What do you think, Madam Vice President?
I assert that having AC in classrooms will help students and teachers. There are many reasons as to why having air conditioning will not only help with their comfortability, but also their grades and concentration skills. For instance, last year I was in Miss O'Keefe's classroom, and we had no windows. After gym, we were really sweaty and smelly. If we were to add solar panels on the roof of the SUES, we could use that energy to power the AC. Lastly, we are more prone to focus better in school.
Without any AC, we are hot and sweaty and are distracted from our schoolwork. If we cannot afford AC, we could at least try to install ceiling fans. Installing AC will benefit the students as well as the teachers in many ways. I hope that you will soon install AC in all of the district. Ms. Kenning, would you have any comments on this?
I think that there should be air conditioning on behalf of being a student here. Last year I was on the 3rd floor. It got really hot. The pros of having air conditioning are that people don't have to sweat a lot, and it gets icky when people start to sweat, and it also starts to smell. Also, sometimes when people get really hot, they don't feel good, and they most likely will have to go home and miss the rest of the day of school. It can also help people who have allergies so that they don't end up having an allergy attack. Once again, nobody wants to suffer and have to deal with the heat. Another reason is that we might not concentrate on our work, but we will concentrate on how sweaty we are instead of our work, which this can negatively affect our grades, which will affect our report cards, which usually parents dislike when they see NS's on the report cards. Therefore, we should have air conditioning. What do you think, Ms. Badko?
Adding air conditioners would benefit our district immensely. It will help test scores to be higher. Also, it can decrease the rate of dehydration. They will make better learning environments for kids. Also, it prevents early dismissals for hot days, so kids can learn more. Finally, the students are able to focus better. I believe adding air conditioners will help our district improve greatly. Mrs. Rubio, what do you think?
These are some of my thoughts about air conditioning in school. I think the school should install air conditioning because the school should always do what's best for kids. Also, if the kids are in a comfortable area where they feel capable, it can help them think better. But there are also disadvantages to air conditioning in school. One reason is that then they have to change the windows so that the air doesn't leak out the windows. Last reason is if the school changes the air conditioning, the taxes go up. And that means anyone who lives in Sayreville's taxes go up. That is if the school was to change air conditioning. These are some of my thoughts about air conditioning in school. What do you think, Mr. Balco?
I get why some people would say that we should have air conditioning, but sometimes it can be too cold, and I would rather be hot than cold because I don't want to get sick. First of all, parents will have to pay extra taxes, and they already pay 7%, and that's high enough. Second of all, we are only in school for about 3 months in the hot weather, so it's not that necessary because we have enough fans to keep us cool. Lastly, it will cause a lot of pollution if all of the schools in Sayreville get it, and the ozone layer already has a hole in it, so we can't take that many chances. That's the reason why we haven't got so much snow this year. Air conditioning is bad enough for the environment. How do you feel, Mr. Walsh?
For the pros and cons of AC in school, the pros are that when it's summertime, it will be a better learning environment. The last pro is that it will ease all allergies and asthma by warding off attacks. The first con is that it's a lot of money. The last con is that there's a lot of germs in ACs. There are pros and cons of having AC in school, but if I had to choose, I would say yes to having AC in school. In my point of view, it will be comfortable without AC in school during the warmer months. Good job.
I think he really did a good job.
How do you feel about that, Mr. Kellyan?
My opinion on installing AC is that we should not have it. Here are some of the reasons.
My first reason on why we should not have AC in these 8 schools is because of taxes. Yes, I know most staff members in the district don't live in Sayreville, but a lot of people do. Taxes are already high in New Jersey, so why add more high taxes? My third reason is on fresh air. We have to keep the cold air inside, so we would have to close the windows. That means teachers and other staff members cannot let in fresh air because we don't want the air to leak out. My fourth reason is itchy and dry skin. What I mean by that is that if you stay in an air-conditioned area for a long period of time, it causes itchy and dry skin. As students, we stay in a classroom for a long period of time, so this would be very effective. My fifth and final reason on why we should not have AC is because it is known to cause migraines and headaches. If we stay in the air-conditioned area for too long, some students could develop headaches and migraines. AC could also affect teachers in this way. I hope you think again on whether we should have AC in our building or not. How do you feel, Mrs. Bloom?
There are several reasons why I want air conditioning in Sayreville schools. It can help our district in a major way. Air conditioning is not cheap, but I think the district can pay for the air conditioning. Now let me tell you the reasons why we need it. I will also tell you some of the lows on air conditioning. Here are some of the highs on air conditioning. During the summer, it will help us work better instead of getting off task because of the heat. Air conditioning also prevents electronics from overheating. I think we can all say the school uses the Chromebooks almost every day. Air conditioning improves the quality of the air. Some disadvantages of air conditioning is that it costs a lot. If you have air conditioning, you have to make sure the building is properly insulated. Air conditioning, as I said before, is not a cheap thing. Air conditioning costs a lot of money. You will have to pay higher electricity bills. You will also have to make sure all the windows and doors are closed and sealed. Even though there are disadvantages to air conditioning, it can make students have a more comfortable environment during the school day. What do you think, Mr. Glockmaloy?
I think that we should have air conditioning. First of all, in summer or spring, it gets really hot. The classroom is like a desert, and we need a lot of water. Some students don't even have any water, so they could go and get a drink. Students would feel very, very hot. It would stress them out, especially Pacer. In gym class, Pacer is where you run laps according to the time. There is a water fountain there, but there is no air conditioning in any room. Students would complain focus on their work because they are so stressed out. Also, people on the 3rd floor would complain. The sun is very effective on the 3rd floor, and that's where it's really hot on that floor. Our education would be cut off by this. Like I said, students can't focus on school. They would have a really difficult time, and their teacher might yell at them for not paying attention. Let's take recess for another example. Outside, we would run and play with our friends. We'd be sweating so bad. And when we get inside, we don't have any cold air. And sometimes when it's hot, people have a headache. It happens to me too. I think we should have air conditioning.
Anyone else from the board? What do you think, Dr. Shediak?
I think we should have air conditioning in schools. Air conditioning is beneficial because it will help students feel comfortable. It also reduces the risk of dehydration in the hot summer months. It also can be eco-friendly if we harness the solar energy through solar panels. Although the initial investment is high, in the long run, it is cost-effective. So I will vote for air conditioning in schools. Please share your thoughts, Mr. Nestor.
I would like air conditioning in our school district. It is always warm when we return to school in September and October. Then it gets hot again in April, May, and June. I feel if the classrooms were cool, it would help us learn better. Sometimes when it is hot, I cannot focus as I am uncomfortable. I feel tired and need to drink a lot of water. Our teachers will put on the fan to cool us off, but it does not help at all. If we have had the air conditioner on, it would make for a comfortable classroom. I feel this will help the teachers too. The teachers will be able to teach us without the students complaining it is too hot. I hope that we can work together to get air conditioning in our schools. What do you think, Miss Hill?
In my opinion, only certain classes should have air conditioning. To stay in our budget, we should only put air conditioning in classes that really need it. There are pros such as kids can focus during class and cons such as parents paying more money. Some schools like the elementary schools, the SUES, the Sayreville Middle School, and the Sayreville High School get really hot in summer. Kids start to sweat, they feel hot, and some teachers say kids can't focus during class. In 4th grade, I experienced it. It was extremely hot. On the other hand, some classes don't get as hot as other classes. In the other classes, kids don't really sweat, they don't really get that hot, and therefore can focus better in class. So in this case, we should have air conditioning in classes that really need it. This might not be fair to some kids, but other kids really need it. Air conditioning would keep the temperature cool in classes. Here is a way to find out what classes can get air conditioning. First, the principals could send out a voting link to teachers. The teachers could now survey the class about how hot they feel in the class. Teachers could also keep a thermometer to keep track of the weather, especially during warmer months and days. The classes that get the most extreme votes should have air conditioning. To buy more air conditioners, the school should start saving money. The more money we save, the more kids get satisfied. Us parents could also consider paying a little bit more taxes, or the school could start a fundraiser for air conditioning. This is my opinion about giving our school air conditioning. What do you think, Mr. Hawker?
I think we shouldn't add air conditionings in our schools. They're a lot of money. We have to buy the air conditioning, install them, and make sure they work correctly. Fix all the windows that aren't closing all the way. So if you think about it, in every room it would be a lot of money. Oh, and you can't forget taxes and bills. That is even more money. So I say we shouldn't have air conditionings in several schools. What do you think, Mr. Tola?
I think kids should have air conditioning in their school because they need to stay fresh, and if they don't, they will get sweaty in the class. Kids would work harder if they have air conditioning. Then you won't pass out from heat. Kids also need air conditioning because if it is too cold, they need to stay warm. We need air in our school because it helps us focus, and we need fresh air to breathe. I hope the school puts air conditioning. What do you think, Ms. Coglanese?
I think we should have air conditioning. I think this because when your body is comfortable, it is a better learning environment. It is better for paying attention, and it makes learning more positive because you have more energy to complete your work. Some of my friends last year had allergies and couldn't come to school, which made me worry. If we had AC, it would be a healthier place for everybody, so there will be less absences. So please consider the need for air conditioning. What do you think, Sienna?
In my opinion, I think we should have air conditioning in schools. I am always sweating every single second of every single day, and most other students and teachers are too. If we had air conditioners, kids would be more relaxed and not have to make a paper fan every day or dress like it's summer just to not sweat. Kids would be more focused on work. Though kids might like it, most adults in town would hate it. Getting air conditioning would mean raising the taxes, and parents and adults would have to pay more money. So I'm still deciding yes or no, but right now I'm choosing yes. I hope we get air conditioning in school right now because I'm like a hot potato in my school. What do you think, Mr. Colbensberger?
During the summer, air conditioning gives a comfortable atmosphere in the school. Schools should have air conditioning in every room because in the summer the top floor gets really hot. And it is a true fact that children can get sick if they're too hot because their body overheats and they may fall into sick like getting dehydrated, and kids may lose their concentration on study as well as from the activities. Air conditioning can also help a lot by when kids go to gym class and they have to do tests like the half mile, quarter mile, and the 50-yard dash. The children will have to cool down. Kids can also not want to go to school because they wouldn't like the hot heat in the summer. I know it may cost a lot for air conditioning in every room, and the estimated amount is $90 million. That's a lot of money, but it's worth it because kids will be happy and you can get more money over the years. Because when parents see that this school has air conditioning and the child's old school didn't, they will want to come to this school so you would get more money. Air conditioning puts more money on bills, but there could be more PTO fundraisers, and you could save money by cutting the cost of extra overheads of some things in the school that you don't need, and you will save money. Air conditioners can keep the quality of the air good, so there might be less chances of allergic problems arising. If schools have air conditioning classrooms, then every kid can focus on their goals and score high, which is the most beneficial achievement of school credit scores. What do you think, Dr. Aguiles?
There are many reasons why I don't want air conditioning in our schools. The first reason is that the cost for air conditioning is too much. The cost is not only for the air conditionings, but for the building. See, if we get air conditionings, we'll have to fix up all the schools. By that I mean we'll have to fix up all the windows to make sure that all of the cold air won't leak out the windows, because if it does, that's just a waste of money. Another reason is that if all the schools get air conditioning, they will make our taxes higher. The reason they do that is because they need help raising the money. I don't know about you, but I know that I don't want to spend a lot of money just for air conditionings. One of the last reasons is that in 5th grade, we have been learning about the ozone layer in science, and it says one of the reasons that the ozone layer is getting destroyed is because of the air conditionings. But on the bright side, if we update our air conditionings and the heaters, we will be eliminating the CFCs from the current old units, and this will help to not destroy the ozone layer. Do you have any additional comments now? Good evening. The Human Resources Department is busy working with the administration to identify staff members needed for the 2021 school year. We have just returned from a job fair from the Temple University, and we are scheduled to attend several other job fairs throughout the months of March and April. Finally, we will be running our own Sayreville Career Fair in the month of May. We are meeting this week to schedule the specific dates for Career Fair. Do you have any additional comments, Mr. Coleman-Berger? Yes. New windows will be installed at Eisenhower School during spring break. Our remaining elementary schools will have their security vestibules built starting in June. We are in the process to go out for a referendum in September to improve in all of our school buildings, which includes windows, heating units, boilers, and air conditioning for our district schools. Please get all of your classmates' parents to get out to vote. We are also working on an energy savings program to replace more efficient lighting and mechanicals to save the district money. And as always, our staff is working hard, keeping the schools safe and clean. I appreciate you by assisting me in relaying these important items. Do you have anything to add, Mr. Naster?
Yes. On November 15th, online registration opened for our Project Before Preschool and Kindergarten. Please visit the Sayreville Public School website for further information. On March 5th,
Our preschool unified track and field meet will take place in the SUS gymnasium at 3:30 p.m. Please enter through the SUBS gymnasium doors. On or about March 25th, online registration for Camp XL and Summer Enrichment will open. Please visit the Sayreville Public Schools website for further information. On March 26th, our Unified Spring Basketball March Madness Tournament will take place at Sayreville War Memorial High School. Game time for our high school students is 2:30 p.m., with the middle school and UES beginning at 3:30 p.m., and Arlith Elementary School being at 4:15 p.m. On May 30th, POAC will be hosting a community day at Sayreville War Memorial High School. Details will be distributed to the community in the near future.
Those are some wonderful comments. Dr. Labby has something planned, the presentation planned.
Thank you, Madam President. We have a wonderful presentation planned for you today. And now, can I please ask Ms. Magistro to please come up? And Ms. Magistro, please bring your special guest with you.
I don't have a person to do my clicking. Where's my person? I have no person. I don't have. Okay. So everyone, I would like for you to meet Gigi. Gigi is the face of ST Math. ST Math is our digital program that we use in Sayreville schools K-5. Oh, pre-K to 5. The preschoolers are also using ST Math and making a lot of progress and showing off. For the last few days, we've been going to all the schools. Nobody saw us yet, because I think it's all SUES students here. But you will be seeing us maybe tomorrow. So Gigi is not a boy and not a girl. Completely gender, just Gigi. Gigi's name is Mandarin Chinese, and it actually means little chicken. But she doesn't like to be called little chicken, so don't call Gigi little chicken. We have 2,900 ST Math student accounts, and our district is at 53% complete. The only way you reach your percentage is if you get 100% and you move up a level. So Gigi is under it. What Gigi does not talk when using ST Math. So if you are a student that really enjoys math, but maybe not language arts so much, ST Math is for you. Because it's all about foundational skills, it's conceptual, the ST stands for spatial temporal, and what happens is you will be introduced to things visually, and then Gigi will help you build. I'm not loud enough? Really? Hello? Thank you. So as you can see, Gigi will introduce things to students visually, and then builds on the concepts with symbols, and then starts adding the language in. If you understand, raise your hand. Thank you. Thank you. This? This? Oh, there we are.
So today we visited, we were at Eisenhower School. Did you love it? No talking. Gigi loved it. We even went into ASI, language arts classes. They love Gigi too because they're using it in their classrooms. And Gigi is used all different kinds of aspects during the day. Could be in a small group on the computer, could be with the teacher, could be at home. How many of you use ST Math at home? Oh, fantastic. So we love it. And Gigi was visiting the preschoolers today at Slover School. And they like to poke. They like to poke at Gigi. Gigi doesn't like that. So when you see us tomorrow, don't poke Gigi. So let me give you a few more facts. Are we done with this? Okay. I told you about our 53%, our 2,900 student accounts. The one thing that I love about ST Math and about Gigi. Gigi. Stand by the people. So you can get a good look. Yeah, right there. Perfect. So what Gigi does is when a student gets the problem incorrect, what do? What Gigi does is explains the process to the student so they know what they did wrong. Okay? Yes. So as soon as a student makes a mistake or an error, let's think about taking a multiple choice test. You fill in big and it's incorrect. You never ever know why that is incorrect. But when you're in Gigi's world, ST Math, you do. Because Gigi will show you, takes you back through the process and explains where you made your error. So then when you do it again, guess what? No error. Yep. So, our goal, we are at 53%. Sorry. We are at 53% with our district. Our goal is 100%. All teachers receive a calendar of all of our goals. And so far, we are almost right on target. Today, Gigi went around to the schools and visited all the students that reached 100% already. Already reached 100%. That means that they are focusing on their ST Math, doing it at home, doing it at school, and really giving it 100%. Yes! If students do ST Math 60 to 90 minutes a week, research shows that they will absolutely show math progress. Woohoo! So it's a little bit on everyone's part. Gigi's going to help. All the awesome teachers that are here tonight are going to help. And all the students are going to help, and parents. And all together, we are going to have mathematical success. Yes. Yes! And, of course, Gigi and ST Math are aligned with all of our state standards, so it's exactly what we should be learning. One of the necessities we need that. You're also wonderful. So, we have a little wiggle room. We are at 53% now, with wanting to reach 100% by June 8th. That's 100% mastery, if we can reach that. And we have some wiggle room because school will not end. And I heard about the climate control. And we will be hot doing ST Math in June, but we will do it. And we will reach our 100%. We have some wiggle room. We have a couple weeks in there where we can get there. Does anyone have any questions? Anyone have any questions for Gigi? Are you excited to see Gigi tomorrow in your school? Yeah. Oh. Gigi's not coming unless you're excited. Are you excited to see Gigi tomorrow at school? Yes, that's very exciting. If you do not have any questions, Gigi and I are going to go back to Chile. Yes? Did I talk about my slides? And we are almost there. So keep working hard at home. You're doing a great job. All of you are doing a fantastic job. Keep up the good work. Gigi's going to go give you some high fives. High flippers. High flippers for everyone.
Miss Magistro? We don't have a question. But we want you and Gigi to know that. You're wrong.
Wait now. Ms. Hill, I would like to make a motion to open up any question up to the public for agenda items only.
We don't need a motion.
We don't need a motion. Oh, good, okay.
So now I open it up to anyone from the public that would like to talk about anything on the agenda. Please state your name and address.
My name is Stacy Gregg, and I live in Rockaway Township, but I also have a home in Sayreville. And I think you kids are amazing, and it's wonderful that your parents brought you here tonight. And I have a feeling that some of the adults in the audience, though, need to talk about some things at the public session that may not be appropriate for children tonight. So I would like the board to go into a private session and discuss whether or not the adults can have an open to the public portion of the meeting that children are not part of, unless they agree to listen to what the public has to say and they don't mind you children hearing it. So that's what I want to share. Was this a timed open to the public for the agenda? Because these are all about the agenda items. But that would be my suggestion, is that this open to the public does not take place right now. We have some real grown-up issues to discuss that may not be appropriate for.
This is just agenda items only.
Yes, for agenda items, there may not be some comments that you may not want your children to hear, and I'm giving you the option.
The part you're speaking about, I believe, is when we open it up for district items. This is just for what we just spoke about now on the agenda.
What you just spoke about with the math?
Anything on the agenda.
Is there anything about sports on the agenda? There's nothing about personnel on the agenda items coming up?
There's personnel on the agenda, yes.
And about, because that would cover some of the issues that people may want to bring
It
up.
has to be about a specific.
Are the children going to be here all evening?
Yes.
I'd like to, for OPMA purposes, I'd like to make a motion that I feel it is against the Open Public Meetings Act, that you are utilizing this public forum when we have some serious things that have been in the newspaper that need to be discussed that you may not want to have small ears listening to. So I would like the lawyer, is the attorney here tonight? You have an attorney for the Board of Ed?
The attorney is not here right now.
Okay. Once again, for open to the public, there are people that took time out to come and speak regarding what's going on in the district on a middle school level. And I really feel that it's important that they get that opportunity. So thank you for your time. And if that's your decision, I guess maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll need to have a lawsuit or something regarding Open to the Public Meetings Act and what you are allowing us to speak about and not, because it's very uncomfortable for the adults here to bring up what we need to bring up.
There is no one prohibiting you from saying anything. We had a Board of Education meeting back on February 18th. We have another one coming up on March 17th. This is our Let the Children Lead Board of Education meeting. It has been advertised for a very long period of time. If you would like to make a comment about anything not on the agenda after this at the end of the meeting, you are more than welcome to.
You have it advertised, because I didn't see on the minutes that it was the children-led meeting. You said this was advertised, that it was a children-led meeting? It's not the school board meeting?
We have made it known to our community that this is our Let the Children Lead meeting.
But
We
it's
have it
not on
every
your
year.
agenda.
We have it every year at this time. Again, there is a public participation part of this meeting for anything not on the agenda. If at that point you'd like to make another comment, or ask another question, you may do so.
Okay, thank you.
Would anyone else from the public like to speak on it, agenda items only? If none, Dr. Labby, could you please give a brief summary of the superintendent report?
Retroactive approval to award the several quoted bus routine packages on finance and infrastructure. Number 8, retroactive approval to award the several quoted bus routine packages previously performed by the Durham School Services to J Bus Services. However, the Board of Education will only be responsible for $78,793.28 because the Durham School Services will pay the remaining balance of $65,746.72 through a refund of the Board of Education. That was on page 5. Number 15, approval to award the request for proposals for the scoreboard advertising services to Side Effects Incorporation for a term of April 1st, 2020 through March 31st, 2025. 5-year contract. That was on the addendum. Governments, number 2. Approval of the 2020 to 2021 CEA full-time technician holiday schedule. And that was on page 9. Number 3, approval of the revision to previously approved of the 2021 to 2022 school district calendar, and that was on the addendum. Personnel, number 4 to 5 and 13, approval to hire new certificate and non-certificate staff for the 2019 to 2020 school year. That was on page 11 and page 12 and on the addendum. Number 6, approval to transfer a non-certified staff member for the 2019 to 2020 school year, and that was on page 12.
Are there any board questions or comments on the superintendent's report?
Dr. Labby, I have a question. What are the changes to the calendar?
Great question, Mrs. Backo.
The original calendar
The original calendar
began in June
began in June
on a Friday.
on a Friday.
That was by accident.
That was by accident.
June should have started on a Wednesday.
June should have started on a Wednesday.
So
So therefore, we actually
finished the year
finished the year
a little earlier
a little earlier
than we expected.
than we expected.
So it was a correction of an error.
It was my error that was corrected.
It was my error that was corrected.
Thank you.
Just saying, it's one of the many that.
It's one of many that I made.
Understood.
Are there any more questions or comments? Then can I have a motion to accept the superintendent's report?
So moved. Second.
Second by Mr. Walsh.
Mr. Callahan was first.
Oh, Mr. Callahan was first.
You saw that, girls, right?
Ms. Hill, roll call, please.
Mr. Balka?
Yes.
Mrs. Backo?
Yes.
Mrs. Bloom?
Yes.
Mr. Callahan?
Yes.
Mr. Esposito?
Yes.
Mrs. Kenny?
Yes.
Miss Rubio?
Yes.
Mr. Walsh?
Yes.
Mr. Zayak?
Thank you, Ms. Hill.
No problem.
And now,
We open up.
we open up to the public for any, for comments on anything. Please state your name and address for the record.
Good evening, Nancy Diaz. I live in Parlind. First of all, great job, kids. Very nicely done. And because we have children in the room, I have chosen my words very carefully. I wanted to know where Mr. Syak is, if he's still the president of this board. Can someone please address that?
Thank you, Mrs. Diaz. As I told you in a recent email, the district has no new information to report.
Okay. As resident taxpayers and with a child attending our school, we have a right to question him as to the issues that were raised in the newspaper. If he's unwilling to face public scrutiny as a duly elected member of this Board of Education, if he's unwilling to do that, he should resign. If he's not willing to resign, I don't know what to tell you, but that is his job per se, is to face the public. Secondly, I'd like to know why this board has not publicly, each and every individual on this board has not publicly called for his resignation. The only person I see that did publicly was Mr. Walsh. And Mr. Walsh, thank you for having the courage to do that. Thank you for being a voice to our, for our kids. I think that we have a right to publicly and openly question Mr. Syak's judgment as the board president, as the previous president of the New Jersey State Board Association. We absolutely have that right. And again, if he's not willing to face public scrutiny, then he shouldn't be sitting on this board. And either he is the duly elected president of this board or he's not. He can't have it both ways. So we have a right to know where he is and what is his standing on this board. Thank you.
Are there any more members of the public that would like to comment?
Normally, I live stream. This is Stacy Gregg from Rockaway. Normally, I do live stream when I go to a Board of Ed meeting or freeholders meeting or any other sort of meeting, but I'm going to turn my live streaming off because I'm going to read to you from the newspaper article so it gets into the record, because nothing happens unless you, as citizens, put it on the record. Because if anything else happens to any of our beautiful children in this district, it's on your heads. This is your doing. Are these your children that you're sitting with? Because none of you have been vested to be in proximity of children, as far as I'm concerned. So are these your children that you brought tonight to show and partake of the Citizens Board of Ed meeting? Because it feels like you did this so that you don't have to answer questions tonight about the Board of Ed president. It may have been a nice thing, but we don't know the intentions. So I'm going to read about the Board of Ed and what was in the newspaper. So if you want to suspend me for a few minutes before I read it, so you can decide if you want the children to leave the room, I will wait. But I'm going to read it into the record. Just like I went to the town of Dover and I played the mayor yelling down the street bad things at the woman who is now the mayor of that town. She's now the mayor because she stood up to somebody who was a bully and not doing the right thing. And it's important that as adults you do the right thing, that you take a stand. And I hope you parents take your children and don't let them have to listen to what this Board of Ed president allowed to happen in his district. We have a paid employee that's allowed to abuse and have things happen year after year.
Not paid.
So you're not you didn't allow it, you weren't here.
Not paid.
The Board of Ed president was not paid, but the teacher was paid, and he went on to other places. And we have many incidences and problems in this school district that the children do not need to be privy of hearing about. I'd like to protect the children here before they get to middle school. So I'm going to read to you. No, it's my turn.
After your turn, I want to speak.
Okay, if you want to speak, you're welcome to. This is open to the public, where we talk about adult things that need to be addressed. So I'm going to ask you, adults, do you want, who's the who's leading this meeting? Who's the superintendent?
I am the superintendent. We are holding our meeting.
So you don't mind me reading in front of these children what is written in the newspaper that I need to get into the record?
I think it would be highly inappropriate if you did, but I can't stop.
I don't think it'd be the right thing to do, to read what, does anyone else feel that it'd be appropriate to read the newspaper? Well, we need action this meeting. That you don't want it read, but yet this is the...
The purpose of this meeting is different. Do not do this.
He should have resigned. He needed to resign. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Can I be allowed to speak? Can I?
Yes, let them finish.
I'm a proud member of Sayreville family. I think today I'm here. I'm spontaneous speaker. I think the kids did a great job. They have presented them very well. The Board of Education has done a wonderful job to provide the kids of this community a platform to present themselves and to address some sort of, a situation that everybody can come together and address together. This is a great platform. I don't want this to be, misunderstood. This has been, wonderful platform. And as a being proud member of Sayreville community, I commend Dr. Labby and the rest of the Board of Education for presenting this platform for the kids in the community. The only thing I wanted to add was, as far as the mathematics standards is concerned, perhaps, the ST math could have been more elevated to challenge kids who perform well. I think those are the things that we need to discuss, not, things of this matter. Thank you so much, and I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your comments, sir.
Hello, my name is Harvey Laguerre. I live in Sayreville. My daughter was just sitting over there. Where is she? There you are. I don't think I disagree with you, but there's a word. It's called discretion. Today wasn't the day to make your comments. You could do it another time. My child is pretty strong. She wasn't crying here, but I saw a child walk out of here crying. That's your fault, not theirs, because they're your words. You didn't have to say what you wanted to say at that moment. So you can walk out of here feeling all proud, this needs to be said, but when you drive home, just remember you're the reason that girl left out of here crying. We know what happened. I understand where you come from. I have 4 children here, and what that person did, we wouldn't have to discuss what that person did. That person wouldn't be around. I don't know if you guys want to hear that, but they'd have been dealt with. But this is not the forum. Look at me here. This is not the forum with children here to say what you said. There's other times. There's other ways. You just made yourself the focus, so you didn't solve anything. And I'm not even saying I disagree with you, but there's a time and a place for everything, and today wasn't it. This is something that's happened before. This isn't new. They do this every year. So the fact that you didn't know, that's your problem. But let's just let the kids have some time and speak, and you take your issues another day. I think that's fair. I think the kids should have a good, positive experience here. And if every kid didn't, then you blew it. Somebody walked out unhappy. Some child walked out here unhappy, which means this was a failure in my eyes. Well, so I guess, hi, parent of 4. Hold on. Parent of 4, I understand what happened. There are kids here, they didn't even need to hear that word. Again, you could have made your point another time. You could have made your point another time. How about we be adults, like you were talking about?
Mr. Laguerre.
Adults,
Please,
yes.
Please, and I respect your right, but you have to direct it to the board.
Okay, all right, yeah, I didn't even want
That's
to
okay.
look
I
in
get
that
it.
direction
I
anymore
understand where
anyway.
you're coming from.
Okay, I feel like everybody came up here and said kids did a great job. Some of us said it, and I don't really felt like they meant it. I feel like they said it just so they get a little precursor to the shenanigans that we're gonna bring up here. So allow me to say to each and every one of you kids, all of you, good job. And I mean, you guys wrote your speeches, you typed it, you got in front of a microphone and you spoke and you made your voices heard. I'm proud of every one of you, and I'm especially proud of my daughter Sienna, who came here, and she got in this mic and she spoke really fast, but she said what she wanted to say. And that's what I'll remember. The rest of it will just go away, at least for a week. And then when the time comes, we go after that person, but today's not it. I'm out of here. I'm taking my child away from this negativity. You guys have a good night. Thank you for your time.
Maria Logan, 153 Whitehead Avenue. I just wanted to apologize to Mr. Nasser and the board. I pulled my daughter, Lucy Logan, away, who's been working on this for over 6 months. Actually, my oldest daughter did this same activity 3 years ago as the student council representative. Great job that the students did here. This means a lot to me, to the students, to parents in the community that worked really hard. So just like the woman wanted to go on record where she live streamed, this is also live streamed. If you've attended other meetings, this is always publicized. I want to go on record to say, these board members don't know these kids. They've just been working with them for the past 4 months to do this. This meeting has always been scheduled. Like I said, my older daughter did this meeting 3 years ago, and I know it's gone on from then. So I got heated, I removed my daughter, but I did bring her back to be the bigger person to know that this is about the children. And I want that to go on record that it was very inappropriate to bring that up now. I feel the same thing that everybody feels here and says, but I did my part, and I attended a meeting at the middle school, spoke directly to the principal about my concerns there. I will attend the other board meeting, and I will do it appropriately, not now when there's children. So I just hope you accept my apology for taking her away, but I would like her to finish on a positive note. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. I'm not very public, so I'm going to try to make very short. I would first like to thank all the kids. You guys are doing amazing. Good job for being here tonight. Not all adults matter are easy to deal with. So that's the first lesson. I guess you guys learned the hard way. Sometimes, we all will learn one way or the other. The other thing is, I would like to put, not on the parents, but go back to the board. You guys know there's something important the parents are concerned about. You guys know there's something brewing in anxiety, brewing too. You guys know there's a very important person that should be here, that is our president, who's not here. So I think it's not only on the parents that sometimes don't always voice it in the right way or in the most appropriate way according to of course, the children are here, and some parents are here to watch their children participate in a very important meeting. But I think there's a part missing where the board knows there's something important. The board knows there's people that want to hear something from you, and that's us, parents. And we're not here to only watch these beautiful children. We're also here for our own. We're here for all the children in Sayreville. We're here because we want to know what's going on. And I understand the children don't always need to participate in ugly discussions, and they not always want to, they don't need to hear all the content of the conversation as well. But there should be a portion or something, Or if you guys knew there is something brewing, give something to us. Tell us information. Give us something to calm us down. By the way, Mr. Labby, I want to thank you for the last email you sent. That was very, very thoughtful, and that was very calming, too. That's the kind of thing we need to hear. And knowing there was a board meeting today, I was expecting a little bit on that side as well. But I understand. I understand. It's a different meeting. I just think things could have been better handled today in terms of either this beautiful meeting, which is a beautiful meeting filled with children that want to learn and they want to see different roles, either could be changed, postponed, made it at a certain different date, or if that was not possible, maybe there was a portion of it later on for parents to discuss certain things that children don't want to participate. I just think there was something missing. But I'm not even sure if I said my name. My name is Amanda Ferrari, 9 Pershing Avenue, Sayreville. And that's just my view from it. Just wanted to state for the records for food for thought.
Seeing no one else for public comment?
Oh, somebody. Oh, sorry. Mr. Tola, I believe you have some comments to make.
Mr. Tola, I believe you have some comments to make.
Good evening, members of the Sayreville Board of Education and Central Administration. My name is Analia Moreno, and I am here tonight to representing Mr. Tola, Vice Principal of Samsel Upper Elementary School. I would like the students who have participated in the Let the Children Lead program to know how proud I am of their hard work and dedication to our school and the borough of Sayreville. Within these students lies the future of our community. I would also like to thank all the staff members that came out tonight to support their students. Their dedication is just one of the many things that makes them amazing educators. Thank you again for your participation and support in the special evening.
Thank you, Mr. Tola. And now, Ms. Hill. May I have a may I have a moment for adjournment? Oh, a motion for adjournment. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Say it one more time.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.